Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's match review of Newcastle United 3, Ipswich Town 0, which saw, of course, Ipswich relegated down to the Championship. But for us, it's all about keeping the pressure on for the top 5. And, of course, the Champions League, which we did very well yesterday. Liverpool confirmed champions of the league today after their 5-1 demolition of Tottenham. Not very easy, not very hard to do these days, actually, is to thump Tottenham, but there you go. But tonight it's all about looking back at yesterday, looking back at the performances. We'll do the player ratings a bit later on, of course, as well. I'm Paul. I'm joined by Alex, of course, for tonight. And immediately, buddy, good evening.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening to the Magpie Massive and everybody in Viewerland.
Right, our first job of the night, of course, is to put a poll up for man of the match, Alex. So this is always contentious, but there was a few.
I've got a couple of bones to pick tonight, by the way. I know it's not Friday, but I've got a few bones to pick before we start the new week. There's two things that have really irritated me this weekend.
Okay, well,
massively.
We'll get the poll up first, and then we'll tackle them as well. Right, you can go first, matey. Who's your first choice for man of the match?
Trips with 2 assists.
Yeah,
got to be in there.
Absolutely. Trippier was fantastic yesterday. I'm putting Harvey Barnes in there. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Next, Alex.
Ooh, now we're getting a bit trickier. Barnes, I agree, definitely deserves a shout. Murphy did a lot. I'm not sure if he's worthy of this poll.
Well, he put some fantastic crosses in, didn't he? I could see why people would probably go for Murphy.
Yeah, he was the most fouled player in the match. Interesting. I mean, how many crosses did Murphy try? I want to get this right because we only get 4 picks. It's important to give the people the right picks because people get up to you about only having 4, and I agree with you. It's annoying.
Well, we'll sort that out for next season. We'll definitely sort that out. For next season.
Murphy with attempted 15 crosses got 4. Yeah, okay, Murphy. The fact he tried 15 crosses and nobody got on the end of it. None of them were bad from memory. So yeah, Murphy. No, that's a ludicrous amount of crosses.
In the back of the net, didn't it? Really. Now I've got. I'm thinking
this is a tough one, really.
Yeah, I thought Bruno was excellent yesterday. However, lots of people putting in the chat to put Osula in, Alex.
Yeah.
But he was only
I honestly don't think there's a standout 4th option. I feel like your Tonali's, Bruno's, Livramento's are all as good as each other.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a standout 4th. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but
yeah.
Osula for the goal is nice, but maybe it's more of a token pick.
Really, you can't man of the match for 5 minutes. I mean, if he banged in a hat-trick in 15 minutes, then absolutely.
This isn't for man of the match. This is to be in consideration in the poll, right? It doesn't mean he was the best player. Yeah, I mean, Dan Burn also scored a goal, but did some shenanigans as well early on with Fabian.
Defense was all over the place quite a bit in the first half, especially. Do you know what? I'm going with Bruno, Alex, because I think Bruno stepped it up yesterday and was certainly a lot better than he was in previous games. Yeah. I thought he dictated a lot. So there you go. There's your 4. Is it Trippier, Barnes, Murphy, or Bruno for the viewers' man of the match? Get voting now. We will take a look at that in the summer and try and get an app or something on the website maybe to try and we could actually try and add it to the website, really, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do with that in the summer.
Abs with the Bruno shot, that's definitely not true, Abs. Sorry. I liked Bruno's performance, but he didn't unlock anything because the 3 goals didn't come from Bruno at all. Well, he was still good.
I thought he was excellent, actually. So I
thought he was really good as well, but he didn't help the goals. It was 2 Trippier crosses and a penalty, which is not. Unless it was Bruno's through ball for Murphy, it might have been. Okay, you might have a point. I can't remember who the through ball was from, though.
Well, it's up to the viewers, of course, who is the TTR man of the match for yesterday. One thing I want to talk about, Alex, before you mention your 2 points is interesting comments from Eddie Howe after the game regarding Anthony Gordon. Alex, I don't know whether he caught my the video I did earlier on today. He's got a knee injury. And that's one of the reasons why he wasn't considered for starting games at the minute. He's not fit to start games. He's got a knee problem, and he felt a bit of a niggle during the week as well in training, which kind of makes the decision a bit easier for Eddie just to keep going with Barnes and Murphy. Even though we all as fans know that it would be very, very harsh if he was to drop either one of them at the moment, especially again after yesterday's performances. So interesting that he's got a little knee injury, but I mean, he played, 20 odd minutes yesterday, 21 minutes or something. And
yeah, because what did he get on England? It was a hip injury. It wasn't a knee injury.
Hip, no. So that's what I mentioned.
Different.
Yeah. Don't know what it is. It's just, and of course, Joe Linton looks like he's off to see a specialist about his knee, so we may not see him at all. I mean, if you've got to see a specialist, that's a bit more serious. So fingers crossed that it's not.
Well, but it's maybe because they did state. I mean, he's been playing through it, and he just said he thought it'd be wise to maybe not play. So it wasn't that he couldn't.
But they're flying him out. It looks like they're flying him out to see a specialist, Alex. And if they're flying a player out to get a specialist opinion, I'm not saying it's a major problem. I'm just saying maybe it's a bit. They've looked at it and they've decided that it needs a specialist to look at. Whether that decision is from a specialist, if he can continue to play for the rest of the season, that might be the decision that he's going to see the specialist for. It might not be just to go under the knife or anything like that. It could be just a simple reason of, you can play on and we'll get it sorted in the summer kind of thing. It's all sorts of different reasons you can be seeing the specialist. But it was great to see Sven back, though, of course, Alex, as well. Botman playing a little cameo.
Yeah, it was very important to get him back on a pitch in a competitive environment and make sure he's up to scratch, because we will need him. I've banged on about this about 4 or 5 times so far, and I'm going to keep doing it. Having him back gives us great options for the Chelsea and Arsenal match if we do want to shift things a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's a proven way of beating those teams, that if we're not at the races and we haven't got the 11 where we can match them, then we've got another option, and we've managed to beat all of them with a slightly different shape. Chelsea, Arsenal twice, 3 times. So Botman's going to be really important. Hopefully he's nearly match fit. Probably not yet, but soon.
Right. Well, take it away, Alex. The floor is yours. Let's hear what your 2 gripes are tonight.
I'll keep them short and sweet. There were just 2 things that irritated me, and I feel like it's what we do on this channel, so why not? Liverpool's title, Nike have posted the most successful team in England isn't English, it's Scouse. Now, they've done that on purpose to rattle everyone, but I feel like it's just ridiculous.
Wow.
We'll go play in a different league then if you're going to start playing that card. There's already the nonsense of them booing the national anthem, and I get that there's a lot of people that don't like the monarchy. That's absolutely fine. Do what you want, but it's still like a unified. We are one. It's the thing that kind of puts us together, right? Is being from the same nation.
Yeah.
So I just think that was a weird way to celebrate. I mean,
is it directed at the monks or is it directed at the whole country? But
they didn't need to say English. They literally said that they're not English. It's a weird agenda. Like, again, this rolls back to when Italy beat us in the Euros, and the first thing Bonucci said was, "It's not going home. It's coming to Rome." It's like, okay, bro. So you've spent your whole life on football. And your most successful moment ever, your thoughts are on the opposition, not with you. Your thoughts do not immediately go to your success, your nation's success, your parents, your family, your friends, your loved ones. Your head is about the opponent. I think that's really bad, bad psychology. It's pathetic. And I think this is another demonstration of that. It was meant to be a really nice celebration of, well done, you've done it. And they're pushing a weird agenda instead. Just crack on with your celebrations, guys. Honestly, we got mocked for a bus. Like, it's just silly. There's no need for that.
Makes a point saying, if Salah had said the best team in England isn't English, it's Geordie, would we be complaining?
It's a bit weird, though, isn't it? I even think that would be a bit weird.
It does sound weird when you say it. you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're Scouse, Cockney, Geordie, you're all English at the end of the day.
Well, that's just a weird one for me. I thought that was weird. And
Yeah.
secondly, because nobody's mentioned it on the channel, I just think Eni Aluko needs calling up again. Everybody just needs to boycott her completely. I think she's out of order. She's completely tried to throw Ian Wright under the bus. And I know we try not to tread too closely to controversial topics on the channel, but I think she is a disgrace. I think the words that have come out of her mouth are directly racist, and I think she's a disgrace, and she shouldn't get positions on TV. I think she's an utter horrible person with her comments and a victim, and she's trying to throw fellow colleagues under the bus, and I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I just think people should completely boycott anything to do with her because she is a joke.
Well, Sam's back very soon, so I'm very intrigued to get Sam's opinion on what Aluko had to say. Of course, Ian Wright.
We're doing so much. Everyone's doing so much to improve women in sport.
Yeah,
and she's anybody who is misogynistic or preventing progress, she's giving them weapons with how silly she's being, and she's just got to stop it. She's just got to stop it because her football takes are bad. That's my opinion. That's not factual.
She's a terrible pundit. She's a terrible pundit.
But she's being that. There's recorded messages and screenshots of her being racist to people.
Yeah,
and she's just going after everyone, and she just needs to go. I'm absolutely sick of her. So
well, ITV are apparently considering letting her go because I think Ian Wright has done obviously a response, and he has not accepted her apology, which is Ian Wright, as usual, was very dignified about it. But the amount of people in women's football that have come out and said, if it wasn't for Ian Wright, I wouldn't have had my operation. I wouldn't be able to continue playing. Our club would have gone under. Ian Wright has done so much. He's a brilliant person. And if you look at, ever see sort of the background that Ian Wright's come from, he was a wind-up on the pitch, but who wasn't? But, I love Ian Wright. I think he's a fantastic guy. And what he's done for women's football is absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational. And, for her, who's worked with Ian Wright on numerous occasions, let's be frank, to come out and bring Ian Wright's name up is disgusting. Some of our things that she said before have been disgusting. And quite frankly, I think a lot of the women players and probably a lot of the women pundits now want rid of this woman because she does nothing, absolutely nothing for women's football. And to call out somebody who's done an incredible job for women's football, I'm sorry, it's disgusting. I mean, I'm glad you brought it up, Alex. I mean, I was waiting until Sam came back because I didn't know how you felt on it. But
it's just irks me because I saw the interview that she did, and my word, does that woman have just no critical thinking skills at all? Just doesn't understand.
Yeah,
she just doesn't understand what she's talking about, and it's crazy. Like the amount of good that she could do as well I think is a farce because she could do so much and she's doing the opposite.
Yeah, really Fubar makes a good point. She did come out once with he scored 19 goals in 40 games. That's basically a goal a game. I remember when she said that.
There's a load of them. But you can
many.
Be like that. Like Michael Owen's a dibby pundit as well, but he's still a legend of the game. You can tolerate it to a point, but Michael Owen doesn't go as far. Well, I mean, he gets close, but let's be honest, he doesn't just attack colleagues and try and get people fired and try and get people in trouble with the law. Like she's gone really far with a lot of people, and
Shamrock makes a good point and says she's a race baiter, and she is. She definitely is a race baiter because if somebody has a dig at her, it's turned on race immediately. And this isn't
it gets people anxious. It's putting more barriers up, and I think she should be trying to do the opposite.
Yeah, trolls are saying what's happened to no politics in here. This isn't about politics. This is about somebody who's done absolutely incredible stuff for women's football.
Politics.
Yeah, it's not politics. But anyway, we shall move on. Sylvia there saying, as a woman that loves football, she makes me cringe every time she opens her mouth. So. Yeah, it's an embarrassment. for women's football having her involved. It's an embarrassment because people, the women's game is growing and growing fantastically well. They've come leaps and bounds to where it was. So just incredible. But Ian Wright, keep doing what you're doing because absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, back to the game. Alex, you know what? I've never seen you jump up and down so much at so many chances go begging for us in the first half yesterday. Some fantastic balls put in from Barnes and Murphy, just itching for somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. And incredible that we went so long in that half without being able to score.
It was a farce. It was a farce. I mean, Jacob Murphy with 15 attempted crosses, Barnes with 5. So that's 20 crosses from Murphy and Barnes, of which we got no joy from any of those because the two goals we scored from open play were I say open play, set pieces, was from Kieran Trippier crosses, and there was a penalty. So we had 20 crosses that surely 20 crosses results in at least a goal. It should have done. So yeah, I was rather frustrated, as we all were. How many chances we kind of let slip, because there were really, really good balls. It was a variety of deliveries, near post, back post, across the 6-yard box, penalty spot, cutbacks. Barnes and Murphy did everything. They tried everything. 20 times is the number. Nobody could score from it. Nobody was in the right place. So I feel like Isak. So there are times this season where Isak's not had service. I don't think he can say that about yesterday. He could have had a hat-trick if he'd have been in the right place. And he only got a goal because he got a pen. So, yeah, he definitely messed up a little bit with his positioning, I feel, because 3 or 4 chances, if you're in the wrong place, fine. But 20 is probably enough where you should, if you're a striker in the Premier League, you should try and get the end of one of them, surely.
I mean, I'm sticking by what I've said for a few weeks now, and I don't think Alexander Isak is fully fit. I don't think he's anywhere near fully fit. There's just something about his game at the minute that for me is a little bit off. But when you're a striker, and we've been saying for a while now, when Isak hasn't been involved in the game, we've put nothing in. We haven't really created anything for him. Him and Willick had so many opportunities yesterday in that first half. I cannot believe how we didn't actually score. It's not like their goalkeeper made incredible saves. We just missed opportunities or didn't actually get on the end of the crosses. I remember one, Alex, which was a fantastic volleyed cross by Jacob Murphy back across the 6-yard box. And, any striker, it's a dream just to tap that in the back of the net. And it somehow nobody's actually even there. And I'm, it's not just Isak here. I mean, Willick is getting forward. No Willick there either. I mean, we'll talk about Joe Willick later, but it wasn't like we were playing badly. It was just that we weren't putting in the ball into the back of the net. And sometimes during that first half, we looked very scrappy at the back. Ipswich came at us a little bit and caused us a few problems. And we seem to be, I don't know whether you'd agree, Alex, but, they were very panicky with the clearances. And, Schar made a couple of clearances which were poor. But, we survived it all. But it was just it was a very weird first half.
Yeah, the two centre-halves were very nervy for the first half an hour, I think. They weren't good. The passes weren't fantastic. To be fair, Ipswich pressed quite well. Delap is a good player. You can see he's in a bad team, but you can see a lot of the positives of Delap's game. He's apart from the diving, that was a bit silly, but it was pretty decent. And Cisso's pressing was really, really good as well. But they just weren't there. There was a couple of nice long balls from Fabian Schar, but the centre halves weren't at the races in the first half an hour concentration wise. And that, I tell you what, that game reminded me of, Paul. When you were at that game, is the Cambridge game. Just in terms of the volume of, it felt like that because of the sheer amount of possession and control and domination, but just not able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
It felt like that to me, that we were just pinging balls in and creating so many chances for just nothing at all, for no end product. But we've got better players than we did then, and we did make it count eventually.
Well, it was always going to come, wasn't it? I mean, whether it be a penalty, I think the goal was always coming. I don't think Ipswich, even when they went down to 10 men, I think with 11, it was still going to be the same sort of result. But we did have a goal disallowed, Alex. Now, we said at the time on commentary that there was no way that was a foul by Bruno. Yes, he looks at the goalkeeper, but I think he's looking at the goalkeeper because he thinks he's going to get clattered. That's my opinion. I honestly think Bruno thinks he's going to get clattered as the goalkeeper comes out. The goalkeeper, Palmer, is so weak in that instance to try and punch the ball, bouncing off Bruno as if Bruno's charged into him. That is no way a foul, in my opinion, and that goal should have stood.
Yeah, I've seen it back several times. I think he's got every right to be in the mixer with it. It's not like he clatters into the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper has been overprotected. I think it's an over interpretation of the rule. I think it's the wrong interpretation of the rule. And that goal should have stood. It should have been a Bruno Guimaraes goal.
He stood his ground, Alex. Why should he move for the goalkeeper?
He stood where the flight of the ball was going to go. And that's where the goalkeeper also wanted to be. I don't know how that's considered a foul. I don't get it. It's just so... And yeah, I mean, a few people are saying that the BBC have said it was a foul. It's just not. It's not even close to being a foul. It's weird. And the problem is with the way that game panned out, because Ipswich did end up with a red card and we did get a penalty, I think it's going to fall on deaf ears, our complaints about how bad the officiating was. But that first 45 minutes, the officiating was absolutely atrocious. It was so incredibly bad.
Yeah.
And that was beyond we got some really good shouts in a red card and a pen, and we're still furious as a fan base with how much we didn't get. Morsey, or whatever his name is, should have gone for violent conduct.
Well,
rugby tackle and a suplex on Willick. That was two separate incidents. And the goal that didn't stand. I mean, it's just outrageous.
Well, listen, I mean, whatever we think, it wasn't given. I have no idea how VAR looked at that and thought that was a foul. Somebody commented on my earlier video today saying it was a foul, Paul. We're not back in the 1950s. I mean, give over. I mean, Bruno, what should Bruno actually move out the way and just say, there you go, goalkeeper? Why should Bruno move? It's ridiculous. But anyway, yes, somebody said the ref was terrible at the Bournemouth Man United game today as well. Absolutely. There was one tackle on Garnacho. And listen, I know we don't like Man United, but it could have snapped him in half. And it was a clear red. It's just the officiating in this country is so bad right now. It is so bad. But anyway, we did score, Alex. We did get a penalty in injury time at the end of the first half. And Jacob Murphy spinning around. I think it was, who was it? He was the Ipswich number 9 man. Enciso, yeah. Spun round him. Enciso puts his hand out, grabs his arm. Murphy goes down. A penalty is eventually given, Alex, after the referee looks at the screen for at least 9 or 10 times, but it was given. Yeah.
Was it soft? No, I don't think it was. I think it's not there's different categories of penalties, and this is something that, people on the Athletic have debated before, and it's really interesting that you get a penalty, which is almost a certain goal to a degree, for different varieties of fouls. You can get hacked down from behind, you can get tugged, it can be a handball. So you can get basically a free goal for loads of different things. And that's one of those where he's got a hand on Jacob Murphy's arm and he's prevented him from getting on the end of a through ball that's in the box. It's preventing an opportunity with a foul, and it's inside the box. It has to be given as a penalty. So it's not a terrible foul and a certain Stonewall pen, but it's definitely a pen.
He tried to be clever, Alex and Ciso. He tried to be clever, but unfortunately,
and we've been done with that before. Dan Burns got caught doing that, I think, twice.
Yeah,
it happened. You can't do it. You can't get away with doing that. It's especially with all the cameras and stuff. I know VAR gets stuff wrong, but with that kind of thing, it's never going to happen. So, with the way the rules are written nowadays, that is a penalty. And Isak took it very well. The last time he went right, he missed it. So he buried it. It wasn't a perfect pen, but there was plenty of power. And it was enough to see us 1-0 at half time.
Yeah, because it was hit with enough pace and width to the keeper would have had to be very, very quickly to try and get down to that. Toon Assassin says, no, it's not soft. Try it. I was a forward at a good level back home. Run fast and get a tug on you. You lose your balance. Well, Murphy was incensed. I mean, Murphy knew straight away. I mean, have you seen the videos of Murphy doing the VAR sign and then pointing to the penalty spot before the referee had made a decision?
Oh, no, I didn't see
that.
No.
Mate, you'll have to go. It's on social media. He actually does the square sign and then points to the penalty spot before the referee's actually given the penalty. Absolutely hilarious. I mean, his humor on the pitch is incredible. Absolutely superb. Michael Stevenson says the officiating was a shambles. BBC give us no recognition on Match of the Day. Great to see camaraderie between the two sets of fans. Yeah, that was lovely at the end. I have to say, when the Ipswich fans were leaving the ground, the Newcastle fans were applauding them and wishing them good luck for next season. And then both sets of fans broke out into there's only one Bobby Robson. The fans were coming over and shaking hands with each other. That's just so nice to see, considering that most of the time, opposition fans are coming out the ground and, there's kids around trying to wind each other up. And it was just, that was lovely to see. So well done to both sets of fans for that. Second half, I mean, as it went as expected, Alex, we were playing against 10 men. It was mainly forward against the defence for most of that second half. We eventually get a second goal. Lovely little chip cross to the back post from Trippier. And there was no way Dan Burn was letting anybody stop him getting that header, including Bruno. He took Bruno and two Ipswich defenders out. There was no way Dan Burn was saying, hey, that's not my ball. I am having that. Thank you very much.
It's the exact position you want Dan Burn in, because you can't miss. You literally can't miss. He's just basically falling into the ball as he's falling into the net anyway. Like, it's always going to be a goal. We need... I know it sounds silly to say, but I feel like we need to try and engineer that a bit more. Because Dan Burn's massive. Why do we not try and...
Well, this has been the conversation for a long time from set pieces, Alex, and crosses. Why is Dan Burn not the target all the time? I mean,
he is, but
Billy
not
says that he can't head a ball
that way though. But it's not that way. So look at what Gabriel does for Arsenal. Yep. He'll start in a different position and run onto something. We don't do that. We normally engineer an opportunity where Dan Burn is going to play it back across the box to someone else. As people are not set, they've lost their men, people are running around. We try and engineer a bit of chaos and try and get it in with a second header, potentially. Can't we just be a bit more classic sometimes? Can we not mix it up and just get Dan Burn marauding at the back post? And it's you're going to have to stop me kind of situation, because nobody was stopping him in that situation. No. Not at all.
No.
I get that he's going to be overmarked, but, well, you say that. They put McAllister on him in the final, so he's not always overmarked. And I feel like we can definitely be a bit more... Well, that's his first Premier League goal this season. Somebody that big, you want... I reckon... considering the amount of goals that players like John Terry and stuff scored from corners, I want 3 headers a season from Dan Burn. I just do. I feel like anything less than that is just not enough for how big he is. You need to be getting like 3 to 5 set piece goals because of Dan Burn in the Premier League alone. Anyway, I don't know why we're criticising him. He scored. Really good.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, the third goal was a magic moment, really. Again, it came from a corner directly this time, which was something that we very rarely see. I really liked the header from Osula, because he was sort of having to lean a bit backwards to get his head on it, but he still got the power and more so the precision. And I think he was happy at the after the goal, Alex.
Just a bit. Yeah, it was like you said, it was looping over the goalkeeper. Difficult header as well. It was a really good header. And I think Eddie Howe was a little bit harsh, actually, in his comments after the game. He said, yeah, I used him on the right. It's not where, as a 9, it's a different skill set. Because somebody asked him, to be fair, whoever asked him the questions after the game was really good questions. It was like, is he now going to be used sort of, how do you see him progressing into next season? And there was really good questions about Osula, and he was very cautious. He was like, he didn't really give us a proper answer at all. So he's very reserved. I think he's trying to keep Osula's feet on the ground because he does look like it's quite hard to do for him. He's very buzzed all the time.
I mean,
yeah, there's a little samba dance.
Let's be honest. He's an absolute crackpot, but we love him. And I think he's probably very good to have around the dressing room, that kind of kid.
I really want to see him on the right wing.
Yeah. Those step overs he was doing yesterday. I mean, the guy's got confidence. There's no
physicality as well.
Stuff. Yeah.
I don't mind that. And having Trippier as well. And I think if once Osula's got some defensive knowledge, I think he's quick enough and physical enough to get back and help defensively. He would help with defensive set pieces, counter-attacks, offensive set pieces. He's just scored from one. He looks like he can play right wing up front. Yeah, he's still raw, but I think he's a really, really useful, versatile player.
He could have had 2 yesterday. He could have had 2, Alex. I mean,
yeah, Bruno got in the way of a shot. It was a good shot as well. So, there's a few people maybe jumping the gun and saying, "Oh, we can save money on a player now because we've got Osula." No, definitely not. Osula's still the young one to come through. We still need someone else, but I think for there's been a lot of people really harsh on Osula this season, and I think yesterday just showcased that. Give him time. Eddie Howe is clearly going to unleash him next season. That's clearly the plan, like a Lewis Hall situation.
Absolutely. Well, let's do the player ratings then, Alex, and we'll go through each individual performance. Starting off with Nick Pope. Take part in this in the chat, by the way, as well, guys. Put your player ratings in the chat. See if you agree with us. Nick Pope, Alex.
I mean, did he have to do anything?
I didn't.
I mean, he didn't deal very well with the press.
I don't think they had a shot on target in the whole match, to be honest, Alex.
1 high claim, 1 successful run out, 0 saves, 0 punches. Here's a first. I tell you what, I'm going to give Nick Pope a 10. Do you want to know why?
Yes, please.
He didn't miss a single pass.
What?
First time he's ever done that, I'm pretty sure. 7 out of 7 passes. He only passed it 7 times of 1 accurate.
There you go.
Ball.
10 for me as well.
I'm just going to give him a 10
because we've criticised him massively on here for his passing, but not a save to make, but passing accuracy. Well, there you go. Let's be nice to Nick. Right, Kieran Trippier, Alex.
I think that's an easy 10. And that's a proper 10, not a comedy 10. That's a proper 10.
That's absolutely.
2 assists from 2 brilliant crosses, 3 key passes in the game. He had 113 accurate passes, which is just an enormous.
Mental.
Jesus.
Mental.
Really good in the duel as well. 4 total tackles. I think for people saying that we shouldn't extend him for another year, I think you're bonkers. I just think you're bonkers. Is he what he was 2 years ago? No, of course he's not. But to have him in your squad,
to have him around, it's different. It's different when you talk around it.
You might as well keep using him. And if we qualify for the Champions League, why would we not keep Kieran Trippier? He would probably love to stay and be involved. He's going to get loads of minutes at a team competing at the highest level. I just think we keep him. We can't turn over the whole squad in one summer. It's too soon, I think, for Trippier to leave. I think we've got to keep him.
I think Eddie would keep him, Alex, but it's down to Kieran himself. I think that's. Oh
yeah, of course. If it's that, then we can't help it. But
yeah, same for me. 10. I thought his deliveries were good yesterday. His defending was superb. His passing was superb. I just think he had an off day at Villa, like a lot of the players did. and a lot of people were writing him off. He just had a bad game. He's still a very.
I think some of it might have been instructional at Villa as well.
Yeah, right.
And he was tired.
Yeah. 10 for me. Livramento.
Livramento was really good. He tried 51 passes, Paul. Do you want to know how many he completed?
Sorry, say that again.
He tried 51 passes. How many do you think out of the 51 he completed?
50?
51. All of them.
Oh, Jesus. There you go.
I know, that's impressive. 3 out of 4 duels. Really, really solid on the left. I'm gonna go for 9 just because of how neat and tidy that was. So neat and tidy.
Yeah. I mean, Simon Yorkshire made a comment earlier on, laughing at us for giving him Nick Pope a 10. It wasn't, he said no saves yet gets a 10. 10. Yeah, it's a comedy 10 because his passing was 100% accurate, and we've hammered him for that in the past.
And he never, not every, I would say maybe 50% of his goal kicks go out for a throw-in, generally.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's impressive when he doesn't misplace a pass for me, Nick Pope.
Indeed. Keep voting for man of the match, by the way, guys. It's pinned in the chat, so keep your voting coming in. 9 for Livramento from me as well. He's just outstanding. I mean, he's outstanding right now. And I love the way he's combining with Harvey Barnes. Simon says, yeah, that's why I was laughing. Comedy is fine. Exactly, buddy. Exactly. Dan Burn.
Oh, I mean, he's going to get marked down a little bit for the first half shenanigans. You know, the opening half an hour was a bit.
Oh, that pass he made across. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Yeah, we definitely, against a better team.
Mm.
And this has happened. This has happened at several occasions this season. It happened against Villa. Doing silly things like that makes us concede goals. The only reason we got away with it is because it was Ipswich. It's the only reason. We can't keep doing that. But he scored a goal. He was very competent in the air. I'm going to go with an 8, but I can't go any higher than that because there was a lot of defensive shakiness in the first half an hour.
I've gone 7.5. Mainly because of the shakiness. Yes, he scored. Fantastic to see him score. But that pass was just awful. And some of the clearances in the first half, him and Schar were just all over the place, and it felt very scrappy and shaky. But you know what? The fact is he scored, and we didn't concede as well. Let's be honest, but they didn't have a shot on target. Fabian Schar.
Fabian Schar was a little bit different. There was a few really, really good long balls from him yesterday. A few slightly overcooked. But a couple of 50, 60 yarders that were just on a pin, which were really cool to watch because it's what he used to do a lot more consistently.
Yeah.
His shot, his custom one pop per game was crap. He suffered.
Your face when he hit that was hilarious, by the way. Oh dear.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway,
he totally scuffed it.
A couple of he lost the ball. There was an error. It was an error leading to a shot because of him directly messing around with it. So again, the first half an hour, him and Dan Burn, more so probably Fabian Schar, although Burn did have that silly pass. They're both just they need to cut that out. They need to cut that out. They really do. I don't care if my centre halves are scoring goals and doing fancy 60-yard passes. If their defending's crap, the first thing as a defender is defend properly first. It has to be because we've got really good, competent attackers. We just need those centre halves to be solid. I'll go with a 7. I'm going to go with a 7 because Dan Burn gets the 8 because he scored. But they were both really shaky for half an hour.
Yeah, 7 for
against
me as well.
One of the worst teams in the league.
Just. It was crazy. It was just a mental first half in which we looked so dangerous going forward. But when Ipswich did counter, we just looked very.
Well, Would-Be Farmer says it there. It can't happen next week. It can't against Brighton and especially teams like Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah,
they can't do that for 20 minutes, or the game will be gone. They'll score 3 goals, and it'll be done.
And then we're playing catch up. No doubt about it. So DK35 with the super chat says, would you give Osula left midfield next season if it means getting Delap a fast centre back and a class goal scoring centre midfielder like Wirtz? No. In my opinion, no. We've got left midfield. I mean, are you talking left wing or left side of midfield?
What, using Osula as another Joe Linton?
Yeah, I
probably not.
No, I agree with Alex. I'd love to see him on the right hand side, and just he causes so many problems, and he's good at cutting in, as he did yesterday when Bruno blocked his shot, which was really unfortunate. Sandro Tonali, Alex.
Well, probably deserved to be in the four for the poll.
Yeah.
I think he maybe had a better game than Bruno. I think we might have got that one wrong, possibly, because Tonali, 93% passing accuracy.
I think they played 2 different games, if that makes sense, Alex. I think
they do, but
you know,
yeah, but Tonali though, you say that, Paul. Sandro Tonali got 7 key passes.
Yeah, I mean he's just
and Bruno's game is go further forward and do the key passes. That's Bruno's job. So the fact that Sandro's getting 7 and doing more defending, really, really good. 5 long balls. He hit the bar as well. He hit the woodwork.
Yeah. What a shot that was, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 9 for Sandro. Yeah. I think maybe we've done mucked up a little bit.
Well, he's always on the bloody man of the match. But he's always on the poll for man of the match. So, you know, it's only 1 week, isn't it? We still know he's a fucking genius. 9 for me as well. That shot, by the way. And we were talking about it yesterday, Alex, because sometimes when you've got a lot of time to hit them and you know it's coming, you kind of don't get the good connection on it. It's when it comes at you quicker and you've got to think quicker and you just hit it. But to get that kind of whip on the ball and the shot that he did get in, and how the hell we didn't score from the rebound, I will never know.
Yeah, Dan Burn just fumbled it.
Unreal, man. But what a shot that was. This guy is just a genius. He's fantastic to watch. And long may it continue. 9 for me. Bruno.
Not far behind. He was good. A couple of key passes. I think Abs is right. I think his through ball to Murphy is what got us the pen.
Yeah, brilliant.
And he was better. He was solid. He was moving the ball around well. The reason our wingers got so much joy getting stuff into the box is, again, Bruno and Tonali were really shifting the ball. He completed all of his dribbles. 5 out of 7 ground duels is really, really positive. It was fine. He was trying to unlock the gate. He didn't quite do as well as he could have done. I think he deserved a goal, really. And he got in the way of a couple of bits. It wasn't his day.
Smashed over the bar. It was an opportunity, I think, but he wasn't even looking at the goal. Then he sort of spinning round. And
it was one of those days. I think if he'd have tied his shoelaces the other way round, and it was a slightly different luck day, he'd have got a couple of goals or an assist. Yeah. Just one of those days. But he did everything he was supposed to do. I'll go for an 8.5.
That's exactly what I've gone for as well. 8.5. Just to make sure, Abs, is that okay? Because I know you're very critical of me on Bruno player rating. So is 8.5 okay with you, Abs? Just checking. Anyway, Joe Willick, Alex.
Bless him. Little Joe. Well, I think he had a good game. I think he was okay. Much better second half compared to first half. I think it was really unfortunate he went off when he did because he was growing into the game and he nearly made things happen. He should have had an assist. I can't remember who it was that messed it up, but he did enough for an assist. Nobody was ready for it. Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to go 7.5. But again, really good. 3 key passes, 93 passing accuracy. He was getting involved. He played good minutes. I think it just didn't quite happen for him.
Peter Garthwaite with the super chat saying, with Barnes playing so well, would you cash in on Gordon to bring in Mbeumo? No, because we need quality and we need 2 quality players in each position. That's what you try and aim for. So I don't know why. There's quite a lot of fans thinking, let's cash in on Gordon. I'm not I don't know. I think I'll stand by my point that I think Barnes is a better finisher than Anthony Gordon. But pace-wise, I think Gordon takes the nod there. But
just something to Paul. Could I just mention Willock before we disappear off Willock?
Mm-hmm.
A really good point that nobody seems to be mentioning is when Willock was at his best. It was also with Joe Linton on the pitch because Willock was out as a winger. Willock was not playing as a midfielder. He was playing as the left winger with Joe Linton supporting, and they were rotating in like a hybrid role. And maybe that's something to do with it because we just keep trying to slot him into Joe Linton's role, and there's another winger taking what Joe wants to do.
I've given Willock a 6. I just
harsh.
No, Alex. 6 is still better than average, right? But I'm not seeing enough from Joe Willock. And what I did see, I was the last 10 minutes before he was taken off. I thought he's coming into the game here. He's getting the ball and he's driving through the midfield, which is what we're used to seeing from Joe Willock. But I don't know, Alex. There's just something that I think if we get a decent offer for him in the summer, I think we could end up selling him if there's a decent offer comes in. But that's a big if. I'd like to see a bit more from Joe Willock. I really would. I just think he's got it in him. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's got it in him. But we just don't see it enough.
I don't think we're getting a good enough bid.
Well, yeah.
I think we get 20 to 30. Is it worth that?
Well, maybe I don't think so. It's like the Callum Wilson thing. People are telling me that, maybe he's going to get his contract extended.
Yeah, so that's different. That'd only be for negligible amounts of money. That'd be
who's going to pay for Callum Wilson?
Willock could be. No, in the grand scheme of things, Joe Willock's got value, but we're just so left side heavy in this team.
Yeah,
you've got Joe Linton and Willock both want to be on the left, can both play on the wing, can both play in midfield. You've got Barnes who can do the same, and Gordon. We sold Maxi to accommodate all of that. We're so heavy on that left hand side, and we've just got poor Jacob Murphy sat there as the one person who is an out and out right winger. The recruitment's just been a bit odd, very lopsided.
But the thing is about Willock for me, he's getting his opportunity if Joe Linton's injured, and I worry about him against the likes of Brighton and Chelsea and Arsenal. I think
he's going to have to do it.
Well, I know. Anyway, Jacob Murphy, Alex.
Weird one to mark, but I guess won us the penalty with his movement and put the ball in the box 15 times. So I'm going to go with a 9.
9?
I'm going to give him a really high mark purely because as a winger, your job is to try and feed the ball into the central areas. Yeah, exactly. And he tried it 15 times. Yeah, I'll go with a 9. I thought some of the crosses were really good. Movement was really good. Energy was fine. And he won a pen. But an important pen to open the scoring as well when we were struggling to try and score. So
8.5 for me. Exactly the similar reasons to you, Alex. The amount of times that he put the ball in the box, which we've been critical of in the past. Saying that we need to put the ball in the box more, and it was coming from both sides yesterday, and nobody's there to finish it. It was a bizarre first half, really bizarre. People saying we should up him a point for his shithousery at the penalty, doing the VAR.
He's already on a 9. I can't go any higher than that.
Yeah. Harvey Barnes.
Similar. I don't think he was not as much a sort of volume as Murphy in terms of like chance creation, but it was still really solid. 3 shots blocked. He was trying his best to try and there just wasn't any space. They were so compact. Didn't have a shot on target. Again, contributed with 5 attempted crosses, a couple of key passes. I'll go with an 8. Really decent, really solid.
Yeah, 8 for me as well. I thought he was very, very bright. And that's what we want to see. He's trying things. He did have a great opportunity to score, which he put over the bar, which was after a brilliant move. But he's he's so good to watch now, and he's getting his chance. And as Eddie Howe said, he's taken it, and he's been outstanding. So absolute hats off to Harvey Barnes. Isak, Alex.
Tough day for him. Really tough day. He tried 6 shots, 1 on target, 3 off target, and 2 of them got blocked. That's 6 attempts from open play. Scored his penalty. It was a good penalty, but from open play, 1 duel, no dribbles. He missed 2 big chances. So the ones we talked about, Paul, the header and the improvised right-footed volley, both clearly went down as big chances missed for him. He's missed 2. I think he'll be very irritated he didn't get on the score sheet from open play. I think he did enough to do that, and it just didn't quite click for him. But he still scored his pen, but I'll go with... Oh, I don't want to give him a really low mark because he did score, but... I'll go with a 7, but I feel like that's generous for his overall play.
I've given 6.5. I just...
It's even less generous.
Yeah, but I think he's injured, to be fair to him, Alex. And we're expecting a lot of Alexander Isak because we don't have anybody else. And, you know, again, I mean, he took the penalty really well. It wasn't in the corner.
Apparently not, according to Susan.
Well, yeah, look at the pace he hit it, though. The goalkeeper would have had to... I mean, Jesus Christ, he'd have to be elastic to get out of that quickly. But I know there's more to come from Isak. But I'm convinced he's injured. I'm convinced he's got a groin problem. But, you know, we haven't got anybody else at the minute. Anyway, how would
Not necessarily. I mean, he didn't mention Anthony Gordon having a knee issue until literally yesterday. So
and he didn't mention Joe Linton was missing either. But I have I don't think Eddie's going to come out and say that Isak's carrying a groin problem because defenders will target him. You know, they'll target him and be a lot more physical, and you don't want that. But
we need to. There's certain information you can give out without it being detrimental. Yeah. That's probably something we don't want to disclose.
Yeah. Keith Lee says Isak's penalty went in. Luckily, when he wanted to shoot right, his body language is so obvious. Just that the keeper didn't dive fast enough. Well, I mean, he just smashed it in.
That's really harsh. Like, or his shot was too powerful that he couldn't dive fast enough.
It was.
You're saying it was going right because you've got hindsight. Like, yeah, you can spin that whichever way you want, I guess. So it is what it is.
George says a 4. Can't head, no physicality, poor shock, and pretty anonymous for much of the game. Subbed off.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
The 22 goal, 6 assist, Alexander.
Yeah, but Alex, we're talking about this game. We're talking about this game in particular.
I mean, he scored in this game.
But he wasn't good. He wasn't good. And I know he's scoring loads of goals for us, but he wasn't good yesterday. You can't say he was. Mike says, I agree, Paul. Seeing him live confirmed it for me. Yeah, when you see him live, it's even more obvious that something's not quite right with him. But we'll see what comes of that. Subs, Alex.
Substitutions. Who are they? Oh, I wish SofaScore would stop changing how they do things. I'm getting lost. It was 67th minute. It was a double sub. It was Lewis, Miley, and Anthony Gordon that came on.
Okay, so let's do them both, Alex. Gordon first, Miley first, then Gordon.
I thought Miley was a bit scared in the first 5 or 10 minutes he was on. Just kept going sideways, and then he got a bit of confidence and started doing some really impressive things. Forward moving, it was much better. I'll go with a 7, but he definitely needed to grow in. I think he wanted a few touches of the ball first and to get himself settled, and then he was more impressive. Do you want me to do Gordon as well, or
yes, yeah.
Gordon. I mean, he's 18 out of 18 passes, but I just think he was really selfish with his shooting. Personally, I thought there were players in really good positions, and he wanted to come back with a bang and score a goal himself, which I feel like he was a bit ego-driven, and that's a big statement. And I love Anthony Gordon, but there were players in better positions on both occasions, and I think it was Like, fair enough. You have the first shot, fine. You're an attacker. You've got that right to try and have a pop if you think you're going to get it. But next time, if someone's in a better position, you've got to play someone else in. So I'm going to go with a 6 for Gordon. I think it was a bit of a strange performance from him, a little bit selfish.
I've gone 7.5 for Miley. I thought he looked a lot better than what he did in his last appearance. Maybe a little bit nervous when he first came on, but I thought he grew into the time he was on the pitch, and did the Miley things. He was comfortable on the ball, nice bit of passing around, and confident. Gordon, I've given a 7 to. I thought Gordon looked quite lively. The second shot, I think, was very close to going in. A lot of people that were in the Gallagher said that they thought that was going to nestle in the top bins, but it didn't. But I thought, considering if he's carrying a knee injury, I thought he looked good. He came on, he was energetic, he was quick.
He didn't play like he'd got a knee injury, did he?
No, he didn't. So I've gone with a 7. Who was next to come on?
77th minute, we had Wilson and Will Osula.
Okay. So go with Wilson first, Alex, then Osula.
One good cross from him, and then nobody played the ball to him in the box. I kind of feel sorry for him because there were the amount of crosses that went in, and as soon as Callum comes on, nobody crosses the ball. Poor guy. Everybody just went selfish. 5. I'll just keep it in the middle. He didn't really get... I mean, he wasn't fantastic, but he didn't really get an opportunity to showcase something from inside the box. I'm just going to keep it in the middle with a flat 5. And Will Osula, lovely step overs, tenacity on the right-hand side. One good defensive intervention as well. I liked at right back and scored a goal. I'll go with an 8.5. We'll give him a really high mark for a positive substitution performance in his first Premier League goal.
Okay. I've gone 4 for Callum Wilson. I just don't see the point anymore. I'm sorry. I mean, listen, I love Callum for what he's done for Newcastle United. Okay, just make that point. But right now, I don't see the point. He's not offering anything.
He wasn't given the ball at all. So.
Well, there was. I mean, there was once
the one time he gave the ball, he got the ball, he crossed it successfully.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I just.
I agree with you, but on that performance, on those minutes, he didn't actually do anything wrong, in my opinion, in that particular performance. Nobody gave him the ball. He had it once and he crossed it successfully, is all I saw.
Yeah. I've gone for 9 for Osula. I thought he was fantastic when he came on. He wanted the ball. He wanted to take players on. He wasn't frightened to have a shot. Could have had 2 goals, of course. The Bruno blocked the one that was going in. For me, that was in the back of the net. And, of course, gets the goal himself. I just think the kid came on with a lot of confidence. You never know what he's going to do. He's exciting. And he isn't frightened to have a few step overs here and there. So I thought it was brilliant. Brilliant cameo. So a 9 for me. Did we bring anybody else on?
Big Sven Botman came on 83 minutes. So he had a bit of time. But surprisingly, contested 5 duels. 3 out of 5 duels in
yeah.
It's quite a lot for considering he wasn't on the pitch very long. He did pretty well.
Well, I'm going to
give him a number. He was on for like 12 minutes.
Well, I'm giving him a 10 for welcome back, Alex.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll give him a 10 for seeing him back.
And what I loved about that substitution was, the embrace from Fabian Schar as well. He was clearly delighted to see Botman back. There's clearly a good relationship.
Yeah, that was very nice. That was.
It was lovely to see. So, yeah, well done on that. Eddie Howe, Alex.
Yeah, I think he gets. I'll go with an 8 for Eddie Howe. I don't think a lot of what he can control. Well, okay, let's change how we're phrasing this. He can't control putting it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Obviously, the team and the attacking patterns and the setup was spot on. They just couldn't finish their dinner, which is I'm not going to blame on Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe, unless I'm wrong, did he return on Wednesday to work? Was it?
Nobody's actually said when he returned back.
I think it was Wednesday. Was it not?
It was Wednesday. I think they announced he was back, but I don't know if that.
I'm not sure he's had the whole week. He's obviously not 100%. He says he's fit enough to be back and doing his job, which is fine. But yeah,
well,
it was fine.
He was sitting down in the dugout a lot yesterday, which is when Tyndall got his yellow card.
I don't think the manager did anything wrong. I think it was the right substitutions.
Yeah,
looking after players. Yeah, I'll go with an 8. It was good.
Yeah, same for me. I've gone for an 8 as well. Great to see him back. Certainly no problems. Of course, Jason Tyndall will miss. Well, he's not allowed to be in the dugout.
Why did he get yellow carded? What? I don't.
Well, Eddie said it was. Eddie said he heard the whole conversation, and it was like the fourth official was trying to stop Jason Tyndall from shouting to the players. This was when Eddie said Eddie was sitting down in the dugout. So Jason Tyndall was in the technical area barking out orders, and Mad Dog got a yellow card for it. So
they've got to appeal that, surely, because the manager's just come back.
It's a yellow card. They can't appeal. It's because it's only a yellow.
What?
It's the same as a player. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That
absolutely shambolic.
You've got a manager who's just recovered from pneumonia and can't shout at the touchline, and you're having a go at the assistant manager.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Thug Prug with a super chat saying, sell them all except Osula. Love from California. Okay. Bit harsh. Anyway, before we go into the man of the match, guys, please do, as you can see across the banner there, please visit our new website, thetoonreview.com. You can pick up all your merchandise on there. There's some great items. Thank you so much to everybody that's already placed orders, by the way. I know that quite a few have received them as well. But there is a good turnaround on all the items, so get yourself on there. There's clothing. We've just launched TTR sliders, as well as there's towels on there. There's pet stuff. There's loads of stuff there. Get yourself on there. Have a look. thetoonreview.com. Right, man of the match for the viewers, Alex. Who do you think won it?
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't Kieran Trippier with the 2 assists. And it was a really good performance.
It was indeed Kieran Trippier. 67% of the votes went to Trippier. 14% to Harvey Barnes, 10 to Bruno, and 9 to Murphy. So there you go. Kieran Trippier is the TTR viewers' man of the match. And I think we both agree with it as well, Alex. I think Trippier was outstanding yesterday, to be quite honest.
He was very good. Rolling back the years.
Indeed. Who ships the orders? Side joke between Paul and I. Anyway, that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your super chats. And Mods and Alex, thank you very much. And a huge thank you to you guys out there. Please do give it a thumbs up before you leave. Very important, of course, that we keep those coming in. And do subscribe if you're new and you like what you see. Fantastic community here on the Toon Review. And remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And, of course, thank you very much to Mamaroo Records for continuing to sponsor the channel. They're based in Whitley Bay for all your music needs. Vinyl, CDs, merch, sport merch, gift cards, etc., etc. Can't get into Whitley Bay yourself. Check them out online. That's pinned at the top of the description, just underneath our website address. So thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you very soon. Good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some